4 Chicken McNuggets for just $9.95 every day.
Can you hear that thumping?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah,
thumping.
there's either celebration or someone from Direwolves is just getting their head crammed right into the ground.
That's aggressive.
That is a great. Well, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, when you want to win, you got to make the hard decisions. Mammoth there, never really relenting, just grinding that one out, almost from go to woe.
Yeah, they're unstoppable. Mammoth, I think it's fair to say. And this is a case of like Direwolves even at moments had early leads or like opportunities to have bigger leads than they did. But like you mentioned this, Bryce, it was a case of Rays being caught a lot. But the thing is that Direwolves did so well is they caught their teammate being caught and actually turned it into small advantages out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Get back playing very well. They all teleported bot lane to help Rays the second time he was caught.
Yeah.
But this is where Mammoth's class come into it, is that they just keep Topoon topside. They get him tower plates. They get him a CS lead. Next fight's at Herald with him there. And it's just that simple, right? They got the sniff and they're able to snowball the game from there.
Yeah, it has been like 2 games in a row with like the Bombers victory, now the Mammoth, where like some of the top teams are just like catching things and they just play solid League of Legends and it looks good. But you mentioned Rays, yes, like this is a Direwolves that yesterday, if you remember, he was like Rays, the jungler for Direwolves, was genuinely Wing, like Lee Sin Wing out of Rakan like knockup. He was actually styling on people left, right, and center. And then he gets a 5th pick Karthus game. Super like negative, like you don't do much. You can't force the fights, and he is the catalyst to everything that happens for the Direwolves in the early game. And they looked like a completely different team. I think that's probably one of his worst performances. And it's like overarchingly just saying like good, bad doesn't really mean much, but you can see that Direwolves look like a different team in how they function and how they play the game. Just by nature of him like being on an aggressive champion with buttons to play with and something that just wants to farm and do a bunch of damage. And as Jake pointed out in the cast, like just find the individual fights and I'll be there with the R button. And that really was a ton of the difference, right? Like this is another Akali game for the Direwolves there, but in the hands of Get Back versus Biopanther. But I think he was like the key member that did really mean that this just very heavily looked like a Mammoth game to play.
Do you think that almost like legacy in the way that Direwolves want to draft to succeed? Do you think like an early game or like gank heavy jungler?
It's not even gank heavy. It's just agency. I just think it's something like Karthus just can put the jungle on like full clear. You know what I mean? It's like a good situation, but like he really is. He epitomizes like the catalyst to actually get things done in the early game for Direwolves, right? Like him opening up the map and then being able to move around with Totoro is very different to being like, okay, I'm being ganked in bot river. Like Skarna's just popped his predator and he's running at my head. Help! You mentioned like they made something happen of that multiple times, but like that's not how Direwolves have won games this season, and it looked very different.
Well, the Mammoth Chiefs battle is an exciting one to watch as we head towards MEO. But before we get there, my eggs, like Renekton, are filled with questions.
Does it mean there's no questions?
We haven't got the answer yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
The jury's still out on that one. All I know is Jake loved that transition. I'm going to start us off again. Another thing we were talking about before the broadcast started. Pulse brought this up. You never see small vending machines. Can we get a small vending machine? Because we used to have a really good vending machine here, a couple of them. They've been gone, stripped from us.
Were they small vending machines?
No. But they were normal-sized vending machines.
Right.
Filled
like-
with goodies at ludicrous discounts.
Yeah.
And we were saying, well, maybe we could get a vending machine for in here. But, it's a relatively small studio, as we've seen on the Bailey Cam. There's not room for a full-size bad boy. But like a mini fridge,
Yeah.
are there mini vending machines?
Do we need like mini coins? Do we bring back the
The 1
pennies?
cent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To start like, you know what I mean? Because at like Christmas time. What do you mean? It's a great question.
No, it's a good question, but in my mind, I was like, does a mini fridge need baby beers? Like, no.
The biggest coin is that big.
It's a thought process.
I think it's a good one.
Like my nan every year makes one of those cakes with like a threepence and a sixpence in it. I forget what the name of the cake is, but it's like an old tradition.
Yep.
You can bust those out for a little baby vending machine. You got baby Nick, got a shave, got a haircut, baby vending machine.
Baby Nick's on the opening
Yeah.
titles. I would love if you've got links to a small vending machine, please send it to me, or just send me the small vending machine.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, right? If, like, a vending machine was where a mini fridge was.
Yep.
It's basically on the floor.
Yep.
Which means it's not at hand height. And you want to like use the vending machine to make a transaction, not just open a fridge. Really inconvenient, right? So now your mini vending machine has to be on stilts or like a tripod or something.
Or like a
Yeah,
table.
And then you may as well just have a vending machine.
If
really.
it's down there though,
right. I
That's how I
kind
see
of see what you're talking
Or
about,
a
but
table.
the idea that you, the fittest person in the room, couldn't be bothered to bend over is shocking to me.
I just think also if it's on the floor, then it's in like prime kick territory.
Yep.
So you don't even need money to
That's
get things
true.
out of the vending machine. Just give it a yeah.
So what
And then
we're
you just
what
fill,
we're
your hands are full of goodies.
what we're actually looking for is less of a vending machine, more just a sack filled with chocolate. or
Yeah.
something.
That'd be good.
Okay, cool. Well, if you've got a sack full of chocolate, send it in as well. All right. The next Nick Bag question. This is a tough one. I actually have an answer to this. Sometimes I prepare them. This one I haven't. Amy Lau says, if you could uninvent one thing in this world, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
And I don't think it can be something like hate. Or, you know, like let's not get needy here. Like it should be very petty. Like for me it would be Australia Post.
just uninvented Australia Post.
I have one.
Please.
Budget cosplay.
Well, what has it ever done to you? That's what I want to know. It affects you in literally 0 ways.
I would say, in my opinion,
Yeah.
it is quite possibly the worst thing that you ever thought of.
Explain what.
I don't have a solid reason. This is more of a. This is my intuition
Yep,
speaking.
yep.
But you've created some great things.
Yeah.
Like your son.
Thank you.
And you've also created some trash things,
Yep.
like budget cosplay.
I think you're just not prepared for the amount of skin
Oh,
that the
no.
the OPL community is willing to share. I'm talking to you, Fedora the Explorer. And that's why. Or maybe you're just jealous and you actually want to be a part of it.
No, that is
your
not it
version
at
of
all.
Yeah, this
I
is one of
reckon it
those
is.
like year 3, like make fun because you got a crush situations,
Exactly,
and
that's
Jake's
exactly
just
what
like
this is.
The thing
Jake's
is, now there's
frothing
no
at the
way.
idea of dress ups.
Now
He's
there's no
just-
way I can disprove this because the more I complain, the more you're like, I gotcha, like an idiot.
Yeah,
So
welcome to the corner.
I'm just gonna say that is incorrect.
Well, does anyone else have something that does it just like that? A knife in my back?
Yeah, no, I don't know. This is a very hard question.
What about Afterpay as a business scheme?
Oh, well.
I mean, it's incredibly successful.
yeah, but it is sneaky debt.
Oh,
Yeah.
like yeah,
It's pretty needy though.
but it's also on the individual
Yeah.
to use
I've
it.
been having
it's a
really
worthy
big
one.
internal dialogues like
What
this
if
whole time.
What if it was just like? What if I could just answer like the iPhone, and then I would invent the iPhone?
This is what's that movie that's coming out recently?
Beatles one?
Yeah. It's just like
Yesterday?
Yeah.
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 All right, good. Well, we'll think about it more.
That's actually
that's a hard
that's a
question.
good question. Yeah.
It is a good question. It's a
Yeah.
difficult one.
Amos.
It would just be something really annoying. It would be like I don't know, like couches that have like feet on them that go out a little too far, so you stub your toe at night. You
They're
know,
too
that's sort of
flicky.
like dumb stuff. All right, up next, Lol Arkangal. Any tips on how to sneakily watch OPL while at work?
You could, well, do you have to watch? Because you could listen very sneakily.
Very easily.
Watching, I'm not sure. Like, what does he do for work, first of all? Because he's a scuba diver, impossible. Like,
You
we
can
don't
take
know what he
cases
does.
down there. You can
could
get a
just
little.
put your
That's where
phone,
you went?
You can
Just
put your
saying.
phone in the goggles.
What
and just
happened-
have it right. I mean, it defeat the purpose of going underwater,
Yeah.
but like it'd be there.
What happened to Google Glasses?
Yeah,
Not a
I
lot.
know. We're all
Yeah.
Not a lot,
But like, you know what I mean? Like, just get it here.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think
I
all
agree.
10 of them still exist.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the listening thing. When I worked a terrible job, sort of just before I started uni, and it was just like I was cold calling, you know, like
People.
to sell them something.
Yeah.
And I
Afterpay?
refused
You
to
want
do
after?
most of the job. I just made up all my numbers. But what I would do is I would rip back in the days when everyone was just using DVDs. I would rip episodes of The West Wing and convert them to MP3s and then just listen to them at work because it was like, that's a show you don't need to watch. You just need to like listen to all the fast talking. And then I do the same with director's commentaries for films. So you could do the same for the OPL. I mean, you don't.
Yeah.
The best part's the OPL. These bits, it's not the games, so you don't need to watch the actual action.
Yeah, no, I very I was about what's the opposite of rarely? Quite often. Okay, there's the word I'm looking for.
Frequently?
Yeah, frequently. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to the shops and like in the morning, and obviously like I work on the OPL, but like NALCS is on or whatever, it's just like Twitch audio only. Like plug it into my car.
Yep.
Get the audio going on the way to pick up some Wheat Bix and muesli.
So I think you've
run out of
made
milk?
a dilemma
Yeah.
out of
Sweet
this,
bits with you.
though. You've basically stated that this is more important than the games.
Correct.
Which, if you were a viewer, then
Yep.
he would want to be watching, not just listening, right? Because we're painting and.
Oh, that's true for that stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, how about we will do that audio description thing? So we'll just set up a second channel where one of us, like Jake, will just describe what we're doing on the couch, particularly during any budget cosplay
Can I ask a
sessions.
serious question?
Please.
In today's day and age, are jobs not measured by output?
As opposed to just moment-to-moment work.
As if you, I assume Lol Arkangyle has a full-time job, and like I understand that at like McDonald's there's a lot of busy work to be done, right? And
Yep.
you know, I had to clean like oil vats and stuff. Like there was never downtime, right? But surely if you have a job, like your output is sell X amount of this thing, or do X amount of data entry, and if you are second monitoring something that is like keeping you engaged in your job, and therefore your output is not suffering. I've been a manager before. I'll be all for that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as
Rusty,
the
when I was Rusty's manager, Rusty used to play a lot of solo queue in the office. But he still used to get the OOL up and running.
Yeah, my
That was
jobs
his
were done.
output. His job was done.
That's a good point. Maybe they're a race car driver.
Surely in today's day and age, we are away from micromanaging. And if you're not, quit your job. You don't need it.
I like the pivot here. It's not about how can you watch it. It's about changing the system, man. Good. All right.
Why not?
Ani is in the chat. She says, I look very cozy. And I am. I'm feeling very cozy. Finally, at I Believe in You says, when is the right time to propose? Oh, to which I say, I'm already taken, but thank you for the offer. When is the right time to propose? Jake?
Last week.
Yeah, this is not a question for us on the couch, I don't think.
I think it is. So approximately 12 and a half years after you started going out with someone, which if you ask Jenna, might not be the right time to propose. The right time to be proposed to might have been 8 years ago. But I would say, serious answer, non-serious answer?
Serious first.
Both.
Okay, serious answer, like having it moved out together and when you know your goals are aligned. So, because you have to live with someone. I'm of the opinion if you have not lived with someone, you don't know how your long-term relationship is going to be. Which is how I know that I didn't want to propose to Zach, because we lived together, it didn't work out, now we live in separate
It
houses.
was a great year, though.
Not for him.
But like, and then similar goals. Like, you have to be moving in the same direction as your partner. If you want to live in Iceland or like, you know, Siberia or something, and you want to be a reindeer herder, and your partner doesn't want that, like, don't propose to them.
And that's how I knew I didn't need to propose to Spawn.
And what's the joke answer?
More of the reindeer.
More reindeer talk.
Just involve reindeer.
How do you herd reindeer?
Did you not watch the latest episode of Todd Sampson's Body Hack?
No.
That was
back.
another
What
language.
is that?
Go back and watch it. Body Hack is a really cool show. And
What are you saying?
I love when Bryce gets offended when someone talks about television.
But it was a really good episode because they literally live in like negative 60 degrees. And they live in like big yurts and stuff. And,
Yurt is such a fun word.
but they
Propose
build-
at a yurt.
Yeah, they unpack and pack their house every day. And they migrate with a herd of reindeer.
Damn. Cool.
And it's
like
like a
to live
really
like
cool
that.
coexistence because the reindeers then pull their sleds. But then they use a reindeer fur in their meat and everything like that.
Can I just point out, that doesn't feel like a coexistence. That feels like slavery and then murder.
It feels like
They transport us, and as a reward, we skin them and eat them. Yeah, I would just say propose when the moment takes you, but also, like, read the room. And if you know it's going to go downhill, if you're not sure how it's going to go, don't do it in public as well. And my serious answer, don't do it in a scenario where they feel compelled to answer in a certain way. Like, unless it's like 1,000,000% like you've been together forever and they want you to propose. If you're like, oh, there's a chance that, even if it's a like 1% chance, don't propose at like a sports game
Yeah,
when
not
you
at a
get
football
projected up on
stadium.
the thing where if they turn you down, they'll get booed by 70,000 people.
Yeah, I honestly, for me, like my only serious answer is you would know better than us, right? In terms of like asking us when is the right time. You
Yep.
would have a better insight in your own relationship and probably know more than we do.
Or maybe you don't, and send us all the information about your relationship,
yeah,
and
that
we
would-
will propose for you.
Just
So
a big list.
yeah, just a big
of
list of all your
everything you've
personal
got.
We can
details.
arts
Yeah.
and crafts of will you marry me type thing.
That's a great scenario.
To be fair, I didn't know how to propose, so that's a different question. So then I went to all the people I knew that had really successful proposals, aka Nick.
Yep.
And I quizzed them about how they did it.
There you go.
Quick shot, quiz, quick shot. Quick shot had lots of good answers.
There you go. So just ask Jake. Propose in a yurt. I'm being told by the production team we had to wrap this up 5 minutes ago. But I feel like I would love to propose to your partner if you want. So please, let us do it. Please let us do it. Please. I love
I'm a
you forever.
6
Let us do
flower
it.
girl.
It is time for the Max Champ Select.
That could be a service the OPL talent team offers.
If I was going to propose to you, I would hire out, for just the two of us,
Okay.
the best ramen shop I could find. That is
That
what
would
I
be
would
pretty
do.
good.
And then I would get like all this really nice food imported, and then I would get like a cool ramen chef to make you ramen. And then at the end of the ramen, you would be so full and content and cozy that you would just automatically sigh a yes.
That is pretty accurate. Yeah, that would be the way to my heart. Yeah. It's only missing anime. That's the only thing that I would need.
That's true. I would cosplay as an anime character.
Then, boom, done it.
Boom.
Sign me up.
There we
Sign
go.
me up to marriage.
If I was going to propose to Bryce, I would get a streamer to actually do it for him, because Bryce never actually engages with other people, but I know he
that's
watches
true.
a shit ton of Twitch. So I would get like, I assume he's watching Hafu a lot at the moment because he's playing a lot of TFT. I would get like Hafu to like, or like Tides of Time or someone like that to propose to Bryce from me.
Would it be like surprised like when he's watching and then it would just be like it would just happen? But what
Yeah.
happens if it's on the second monitor and he just misses it?
He just misses it. I would be like that guy that kept donating. Like, hey, dude, I think you missed the last donation, so I have to like get the
Here's another
message back
5K.
up. Yeah, here's another 5,000. Like, please do it again. Good point.
Yeah, I could.
You really got to time these things. Rusty, you would have to do it at a gym.
That is true. Yeah.
I'd hire out a gym and make him eat lots of ramen.
I would like do it as like a photo bomb in one of his gym selfies, right? And then he would look through it later, and then
Yes.
he would be like, "Oh, you know."
You're good at this.
I think together we make a pretty more formidable duo on proposing to people in the OPL.
We do.
This is also our third game together.
It is.
Yeah. I was, usually this is part of the day where I have a second person come in, but it's just you and me. It's the Pulse and Spawn show. The Pawn show. Let's get into Order and Gravitas. It's going to be Quinoa, Irelia, and Yasuo banned out from Order. So I don't know if they're banning that away from Swiffer. Tally picking up the Silas and going to have Sejuani. So we're going to have a solo lane Silas, probably mid lane.
Or a solo lane Sejuani.
Or solo lane Sejuani.
I mean, Silas is a melee champion. Top lane Sejuani with a melee jungler actually isn't that bad.
No.
It most likely is not going to be that, but it could be. This is something that Order has done before, however. When Split 1, the first time Order played Gravitas, Swiffer was just like, ban out Harry, and I'll smack him. And for those that didn't watch that game, Swiffer played some assassin, I think it was LeBlanc, and Spooks played Zac, and Harry played Azir, and he died like 14 times in the game. And not that high, but he died multiple times in the game, and that was legitimately the win condition. Harry is one of those players that I feel like he is the catalyst for Gravitas. Gravitas, in my opinion, have a lot of role players, and then Harry and Parbu can like pop off.
Yep.
Jimmy or Tally is a very good containment top laner, so I don't think that's going to be Parbu, and then therefore it has to be Harry, and if you can keep him down, then it gives you a very clear avenue to be able to win the game. On the flip side, Gravitas just have a lot of really good scaling right now.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Gravitas also been just picking up wins here and there, I'd say, after the last couple of weeks. 4 and 9 currently. So definitely feeling a lot better. Now's the time to do it. Has the Azir into the mid lane. So maybe repeating that there from Order. We'll see Jarvan and Lucian as well for Gravitas.
And whoever wins this game, if Order win it, they're like back on equal points. If Gravitas win it, they're only one game behind Direwolves, who I believe they have head-to-head against. I think they've 2-0'd them.
Yeah, true.
So that means that Gravitas re-enters the playoff race. If they win this game, they are one game behind playoff spot with head-to-head. So that is so crucial for the Gravitas lineup. This is a must-win game for them if they want to believe that their season is still alive.
Which is crazy to think about, right? Like, Gravitas were pretty much put in the same boat as Legacy for a lot of the split, you know? Like, just hovering above them in the standings, and now it's, like, possible playoff contention, you know? Like, that's a huge deal for these players and for this team. Pyke, Braun, Corki, and Varus taken away, looking towards the bottom lane support here for Gravitas. Will it actually be Nami? Okay, last swap up to Rakan.
I would have liked Nami, because the big thing they took away from Tahm Kenchi, he has much better health regen, but a crappy shield nowadays, right? So if that was going to be Nami, Lucian Nami is a heavy bully lane.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can just set up so much in that 2v2. And, you know, Rakan does something similar. He does have good chip with his Q. His Q does a surprising amount of damage, and then really good all-in engage. But good luck doing that against Tahm Kench Ezreal.
Yep. Yep, Tahm Kench Ezreal, very, very, very annoying to lock down. Yeah, just kind of akin to like the old Janna lanes, where it's just like you look at it, it's like Janna Tristan, and you're like, all right, yeah, just not going bot lane ever. And then Kennen picked up, final pick there for Order. So, yeah.
It's Swiffer Silas.
Yeah.
Normally we see Tally Silas. We saw Swiffer Silas once during Gauntlet, and then it was swiftly taken back off him and given to Tally. But it's going to be Swiffer picking up the weird chained man in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just like the second time that Swiffer's brought out like a new champion, right? Like that I wouldn't necessarily associate with the Swiffer style. So we'll see how this one works out, because, you know, like we were talking about, like it was a big confidence boost for Swiffer having a good performance on the Asura. So maybe this is just a continuation of that thread. Final pickup was Ryze, actually, for Gravitas.
Yeah, which is a really good matchup into Kennen, to be perfectly frank. Kennen, one of those champions that, if can skirt in and out of the fight, has really good chip damage. Ryze just holds you still and whacks you a little bit. His E now spreads immediately, so you don't have to double E anymore. But his W, if not empowered, no longer is a root, it is a slow.
Yeah.
So he was changed a couple of patches ago, that's why he fell out of favor. In saying that, into Kennen, who plays in waves, the immediate bounce into 1.5 seconds root, into a truck ton of damage, is really key to be able to trade very nicely.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, Ryze was annoying for pretty much since his inception in, like, beta, because of just that point and click route, you know? Like, it's just the most infuriating thing. But yeah, I think that most recent change was probably the best change that's ever been made to Ryze, actually, out of the many iterations of Ryze that we've seen here. So yeah, we'll see how this one works out into Kennen. Should be very good. Of course, Kennen doesn't have a dash. We'll be able to lock him down in lane.
Yeah, because it was really funny, right? That was the only integral thing to Ryze's kit that they wanted to keep. They said, like, the one thing about Ryze that we like is for new players, he has point-click CC. And they changed him, I think, like 30 times before they were like, okay, whilst it is core to his kit, we do not think it is balanced or fair to have point-and-click CC in there without having to use another spell. So we're going to give him free spread on his E, but we're going to actually remove that point-click CC, which was just so integral for jungle gank setup.
And we have Juves, coach of Gravitas. What was your favorite iteration of Ryze in like the 76 different Ryzes that we've seen?
The Ryze that I was good at. And that was definitely not this Ryze, definitely not the last Ryze, but the Ryze before that one, I was not bad at. But I think a robot was not bad at that.
Is that the never-ending?
Yeah, never-ending. Just literally press every button you can on your keyboard, and if they're binded, it's gonna work out.
That was when Hellions were in the league.
Yeah, Ryu was a smurf at it.
And they could not win a game, and then Ryu found it, and they just went undefeated for like 2 weeks.
And then Ryu went from like a middle of the pack, like average top laner, to just skyrocketed to top 10. And everyone's like, dude, Ryu's just smurfing lately. And then it's like he's playing GP and Ryze, and they were the two most giga-broken champs in the world.
He made all-stars off the back of those two champions. Talk to me about kind of the Gravitas season, because this is the game that gets you guys back into contention for playoff race. Obviously an important one.
Yeah, it's an important game for us. It's an important game for Order, but it's also like a bit of a sweaty game for Direwolves, because we have head-to-head against Direwolves. You have the head-to-head against Bombers. So, like, I mean, both of us can't win this game, but whoever wins this game is in a pretty good position, because they somewhat own the head-to-head against higher up teams. So it becomes like a real cluster of, are there tiebreakers? What's going on? Like, I mean, there's still a long way to go, and there's still many games to play. So, I mean, like, either team could lose this by going on a tear in Super Week, and it doesn't matter. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, it has, like, it's just so confusing, and I don't think there's a point doing the math, because, like I said, you just got to pick up games, and, like, I think this OPL split specifically, where you do the OPL or the League of Legends math, and it doesn't add up ever. So, like, our game against Bombers was terrible, and then you look at Legacy almost taking the game off Bombers, and it's like, okay, well, how good are Bombers or how good are Legacy, and like, how do you add this up?
Yeah.
It is very difficult right now. I've also been asking everyone that has been in multiple positions the question that a viewer sent in, and hold that thought because Jake is about to be ganked.
Yeah, flash away from the knock-up. Should be good to go.
Or does he lose topside now, the Jarvan?
Ooh, I don't think anything. Sejuani's so slow, man. The question that we've been asked is, as a challenger player, how do I get picked up to go pro?
Yeah.
And obviously you've been a pro, and now you're a general manager / coach. So,
I'll give you a good example. When we picked Dokler up, who's playing LCS now, the first, like, I looked at his OPGG. He was like top 15 North American solo queue, and he was just Jace and Fiora only. And sorry, I can't talk when stuff happens.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, he played Jace and Fiora only, and like obviously that's not a competitive like champ pool, but it showed that he had the kind of mechanics to get to a certain level, and he just needed to be taught the game. And so for us, it was like looking at the solo queue ladder and how good and just to see if he had the mechanical skill, because I think the brains are easier to teach than the mechanical skill. Mechanical skill just comes from like grinding the game, being aware of your mistakes, and like if your fingers can actually change what your brain's saying to them. I think to an extent, in simple terms. Whereas like the game, learning about the game is just watching VODs, getting good mentoring, getting good coaching. So I'd say similar to Richard, because I heard Richard's response. It's just focus on getting some good like mechanical skill behind you.
Yeah, well, fantastic. Thank you for the insight, and best of luck in the game.
No worries.
While this is all happening, Harry is clapping Swiffer in the mid lane.
Yeah, steps into the Sand Soldiers, though he knows something's up. Spooks flashes out of the bush, chases him down, gets the stun, and Harry should be dead to right here. Yeah, it's going to be first blood over to Swiffer.
And all I'm saying is it must be nice to spend 5 years of your career playing 2v1 mid lane. Like, Swiffer, his whole career has
Pocket
just been
jungler.
able to have, like, oh, Sam, come mid lane. Like, right now, right this second, ditch every camp you have on the map and, like, stop this guy from pushing in. And Harry uses everything in Azir's kit to try and survive. Like, Azir has a huge glide out, you know, he has a flash, and he just cannot survive. And even funnier to me, the reason I bring it up is because Spook's the one that has to burn the flash. Simon's like, I'm not flashing for that.
Not flashing.
Meanwhile, top lane.
For plebs to do. Oh, Pabu getting stunned in place, and that's just the power staying in melee range right there, and it will be another kill over to Order, just mid to top.
Yeah, really nicely done there from Order. I mean, I've already said it, but definitely the way... Oh, hold that thought. Swiffer's going to find Praelis here.
Yeah, Praelis is going to be forced to go deeper into the Order jungle unless he is able to just flash away from this one. Smite comes down for the extra HP and now has his flying drag back, but that was very scary for a second after already using his mobility spells.
Yeah, it certainly was, and that's Harry just, you know, sacrificing maybe 1 or 2 creeps to rotate over and help his jungler out because he knew he was on a little bit of trouble there. But this bottom lane is going quite good for the Gravitas lineup. You can see that without any shops, they're really bullying this lane around. Equal CS, which is always a trouble into Ezreal, but certainly good pressure in the lane.
Yeah.
And you can see Spooks is down there. I would assume this is a shadow for a reset, but you can't ever really know. Could be a very poorly timed gank, which will get everyone killed.
Yeah, it would be also very awkward. No flash on Sejuani, level 4, no ult. Walking into lane as minions are pushed. Like, that's almost the most inoptimal gank ever.
Yep.
So, yeah, probably just going to be shadowing just around the area. Taking Krugs, moves up towards River, places down the ward. Bot lane going to go for their recall anyway. So, just a bit of a safety net just in case something went sideways. Now looking towards the mid lane. Up, there's a troll ward here. I'll take this one away as well. And Sweffer can just focus on taking minions and pushing back Harry.
They go for it anyway. Like, once again, like, poor Harry is just like, I want to abuse my range advantage over this champion. And it is just not happening with the jungler that close to mid lane always. But this is a nice shadow. Once again, you know, you assume this isn't a gank. This is a let's get top lane in. However, if Pabu is able to pressure off the bounce here, it could certainly turn into one. Danger for Praelis is he's starting to fall behind in experience. You know, he's up in camps. But the longer he waits here, the further he will fall behind in experience.
Yeah, Pabu hit 6. But this is a big commitment of time. Tally's also hit 6 himself, so this is not even a guarantee that one of them don't die to a 2 versus 1. Tally pushes down. Yeah, he's kind of aware that something could be up. Spooks is also on the top side of the map, but Praelis is going to go for it. This is the time. Flag drag. Immediate Duke goes for the root. Tally pushing into the brush and immediately has Spooks coming up. Comes around warp, cutting them off now 2 versus 2, splitting them up. Tally backing away, has Spooks with the tank right here, but still managed to take down Kennen.
Harry's here.
Harry coming into the top lane as well, get the root and get the kill. That worked out perfectly there for Gravitas.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, that's a real nice play. We kept talking about if Spooks hovers around mid lane, they have great kill threat. However, what that was is they didn't hover mid lane first, and therefore the priority or the pressure of the minion wave was there for Harry, means Swiffer cannot follow into River. Harry with a great roam there certainly turns the tides of that gank and gets a kill back over onto the Azir, onto the Kennen, so that earlier damage done from Order now completely diffused in one gank.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to go a lot worse for Gravitas than it did in the end. You know, missed the flag and drag. Kennen actually gets towards his jungler, turning it into a 2 versus 2. You no longer have the advantage, still managed to clean up, and yeah, based off of that mid lane. So, well played there too, Gravitas. Big deal in the early game. We're back to pretty much a net neutral game here, Spawn.
Yeah, we certainly are. I mean, it's only 400 gold the lead. You would say that Azir certainly brings a lot more scaling to the table, but mid-game spikes should be in favor of Order. This is going to be an interesting one, because I would say neither team with really compositions we're used to seeing. This isn't the 1-3-1. This is a hard 1-4 coming out of Gravitas. But it's not really the big Wombo combo teamfight comp coming out of Order either, because that looks like it is going to be an AD cannon coming out of Tally.
Looks to be the case. Sejuani just looking towards his bottom lane. Silas as well hops toward the blast gun. You're going to see him now over the control ward. Doesn't quite land the flail. Doesn't throw out the CC either with the ultimate. A little bit too close to tower. A little bit too much safety from this bottom lane here from Gravitas. So just diffuse those ganks. But still looking towards the enemy jungle though. We'll look towards the Scry's Bloom at the very least. See Decoy. But Praetor's is a ways off, so there won't be any punch onto the Sejuani for now. While I have a bit of spare time, let's walk to the mid lane. See how Swift is doing. Toss out the ultimate onto Hayri. Flashes away immediately. Turn around into the Cataclysm. He wants this. Hayri low on mana though, and he has this one Sand Soldier, and Swiffer able to dash away.
Yeah, I mean, that's really nicely done from Fraelis, just ensuring that they had to use something there. They did use, once again, Spooks' flash on cooldown. Now the big shadow to be able to get the wave into turret. You can see that's just going to be a reset for both mid laners most likely. Swiffer low on health, Harry low on mana.
And yeah, Gravitas playing as well, and starting off the Dragon, which will be an Infernal to kick us off here. 9 minutes into the game and have pretty much the whole family.
They
so
do,
this one away.
But I don't think Azir can do anything here. But they get it.
It's already gone, yeah. Yep. Spooks was walking over, but bot lane was not really looking to contest. It was kind of shallow from them, and mid lane, yeah, while Hayri was not able to contest, low mana and push back on Azir, still going to be Gravitas taking it.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me there was that they had Tahm Kench ulti, so probably should have been able to contest that. Now the dive coming in.
Yeah, gank number 4 into the mid lane. Hayri gets locked down by the chain. Swift underneath tower will flash away. Doesn't have the lock on. Oh, mid lane tower. Last minion. Praetus has got to find him though, and the minions are chasing after. Flag Drag will secure the return kill. And Decoy and Raid moving to the mid lane, looking for a potential second cleanup, but Spooks too far away.
And I mean, that's a very well-timed gank from Spooks again, just because the big creep wave is crashing under turret. And we talk about this a lot, but sometimes a gank isn't about the kill necessarily going down. It's the denial of resources. It's Pabu going for the turret dive.
Oof, yeah, the sidestep crucial there from Tally avoids a lot of that damage from the overloads, and Pabu will not get the kill underneath that tower. And Spooks is also pathing towards the top side, so it will be everybody disengaging, recalling back to base.
And I mean, that just shows how one-sided this matchup can be. If you can equal trade under turret, and the only reason Tally doesn't die to Pabu there is one sidestep outside of the snare, then that is a very rough matchup and only going to get worse as Raya scales into the game. You can see Pabu slightly behind, but a lot of that is to do with Spooks' jungle pressure so far. I feel like this 1v1 in the top lane, if it ever gets isolated, could be a legitimate win condition for Gravitas.
And right now, 3-3 in kills, and that Infernal really separating these two teams as Pabu is pathing all the way into the bottom side. Looks like we will have a lane swap here as Lucian and Rakan moving up there. And there's a recall also coming in from Dream. Pabu has now just shown himself as this recall is happening, so we'll see if all the Ors decide to match.
And very interestingly, Tally hasn't recalled yet, so not going to match bottom side. Instead, they look like they actually want to contest this Herald take.
Yeah, a lot of pings going down. Looks like Order are looking towards this mid lane here on Hayri once again.
Because Order's on the clock now. Every second that they don't go bottom, they're just losing turret plates. And now you see Tally does cross, but that's already one plate gone. Certainly going to be the second, and they're late top lane as well. So that's a really nice swap from Gravitas. They've picked themselves up about 500 to 1,000 gold from just, you know, the additional creeps and plates they grabbed there.
Just time, mid lane once again tosses out the Emperor's Divide, catches him on the flail, but that Divide was so good. Catches both Swiffer and Spooks on that 5th gank.
I mean, it really does seem like the Camp Harry show is on.
What makes you say that? Prayler's gonna jump in with the Cataclysm. Heavy coming in from the mid lane, still has those Sand Soldiers. Top lane, Decoy coming down. Jumps to his ally, looking for the charm, gets it inside the Cataclysm. This should be the clean kill onto Swiffer. If he's unable to return the damage, Hayri gets a bit of revenge.
Yeah, and that just might be the Rift Herald going over. They did use a lot of cooldowns there, Cataclysm as well as Rakan ulti, but without the most kind of fed member on order right now up and available, how do you actually contest this?
Jake and Dream coming in, Decoy. Trying to stop them, doesn't have the ultimate. Hayri also coming back there, finds knock him onto Jake, but Spooks off to the side. Oof. A lot of damage coming in from the True Shot Barrage. Prayler's backing away. Herald down low, near nuke territory. Pabu flashing the wall, looking for the kill onto Jake. Dream forced forwards now, 2 versus 1. Pabu able to do the zoning that Gravitas need to secure the Rift Herald.
And I mean, that's just both neutral objectives picked up so far this match for the Gravitas lineup. They're doing a very good job of controlling their area and getting picks onto crucial order members before they start the objective. That will be Tally picking up a plate bottom lane, but with the Rift Herald kind of set up and all the priority they're able to generate over mid, that should be Rift Herald probably taking mid lane turrets as plates fall down.
Yep, pretty good timing across the board, and it feels like Gravitas have stabilized, right? Like, it felt like the start of the game was very tumultuous. It was a lot of things just going the wrong way. Meanwhile, top side just got a couple of recalls coming in, and yeah, just all these constant ganks coming in from Spooks and Swiffer have not yielded enough fruit for them. You know, that's 5 ganks, maybe even 6 as well, just hovering around the mid lane. And Hayri was able to defuse most of them. I think, like, you know, I think almost every League player can sympathize with that situation where you go into solo queue and it's just like, oh, well, jungle mid lane duo, I know what I'm in for. But I think Hayri has done a great job by himself defusing it, and Praylis just matching the pressure coming out from Spooks.
Yeah, because Praylis has started to get involved, right? You can't understate the fact that he has 5 kill participation currently in the game, although Harry, again, has been caught out.
He has been caught out, but does have the assistance from Decoy, gets a slow down out from Conquering Sands, and top lane, Shelly's been put down, so Gravitas are just winning from basically that play diffusing there from Order. So once again, all 3 objectives now in this game picked up by Gravitas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we kept talking about it, but they do have the scaling advantage. Swiffer being forced out now by a very nice culling from Raid.
This will will and should be more damage, though. Raid, that's going to be his ultimate. It's going to have to be a culling block here from Praise, which means the full damage will go into this job and sets him up for the kill here for Swiffer.
Flash is
Only
available.
flag comes down, and Raid low on mana. Only a couple seconds left on a relentless pursuit. Flashes away from the chains. In comes Spook, though. He's looking towards the brush, going for this tower dive. It's an easy dash for the kill, and Swiffer walks away. Nice double.
It certainly is, and that is going to be. In comes Rise.
Oh, it's now a 2 versus 2, and Swiffer's already low, blown a lot of his cooldowns, but Dream hops the wall, and that's a 3 versus 2. Gets the first kill onto Decoy. Now Pabu by himself. Spooks dancing around the minions, gets the stun down, but the tower will finish him off. Jake walking underneath the tower, and this is getting messy real quick now for Order. Hayri chasing Jake down, looking for this shield. Flash away from, but still gets him with the Sand Soldiers, gets the second there. And Gravitas, a huge turnaround.
Yeah, it certainly was. That was a genuine 4v5, and Tally had teleport, just chose not to use it. Instead, took bottom lane turret, but you have to applaud what Harry and Pabu were able to do there. Swiffer started off very, very well, but I think it's just the coordinated repel that came out from the remaining 3 members of Gravitas to be able to even up that trade.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of reactions from both teams. It was trickling in one by one, the reinforcements, and as it turned out, Gravitas just kind of had better positioning. Also, I think like 3 tower shots tanked there from Spooks was unfortunate, trying to secure that final kill, and it turned into a fight they didn't really want. Yeah, we can see instantly turning this into a 2 versus 2. Swiffer already very low on this.
So this was a good kill, but I think it should have stopped after this, because Tally should be calling that I don't have really anywhere to teleport to, right? There's no wards there. There is just like literally nothing you can do. Instead, you should be turning as 4 members onto Harry and trying to keep him out. I mean, they used multiple summoner spells as well to try and live through that gank, and it just did not work. One of those plays that looks very, very good, but the more you commit to it, the worse it starts to become for Order. But once again, that's one of those times where you have to really look at Gravitas and say, when 5 members are on the same screen, they look like a much improved lineup.
Oh yeah, for certain. It feels like Order are very hungry. It's just like they find 1 kill and it's like, we want everything. You know, you have a single slice of cake and we want everything possible. And I mean, that just comes back to bite them. Twice now, Gravitas also managed to pick up an Ocean Dragon during that replay. Now 2 Dragons, another Infernal coming up in about 4 minutes. And honestly, Gravitas in a really good position in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, especially just because of the Azir, right? The Azir's 160 CS going nearly at the clock, and might have been caught out.
Yeah, Harry is able to block the entirety of that jungle passage, though, so this is a no-entry zone for Swift, and he'll have to go back into the bottom lane and farm up this minion wave. Gravitas, 3-manning in the mid lane, and this 1-3-1 right now is doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Order win the bottom side of the 1-3-1, and then the Rise, like, smashes the cannon. Like, you can see, like, Tally's just running away. He's nowhere near. There's probably going to go towards a Wit's End as his second item. There is a lot of magic damage coming out. Yeah. That should help, but I don't really think it solves the issue. Like, it's never going to be a hard winning lane. Maybe when you get Phantom Dancer, actually, could be the turning point, but 3 items is a long way away when you're at 1. So, yeah, I think, like, this becomes how do you play towards your strong side of the map? And if you're Gravitas, how do you use that global, these teleports, to kind of punish the fact that you know what Order is going to do?
Yeah. Order now pretty much just doing housekeeping, picking up buffs across the board, but...
Ooh, that's actually 2 completed items on Parbu. He's
a big boy.
Uncontestable on the map right now.
Yeah, I mean, this Rise has been the beneficiary of a lot of gold. And you think back to the plates that he was getting into the bottom lane, the 3 kills he's picked up on a streak right now, 7,300 gold.
I'm actually so surprised that he's only 500 gold up. Because
Yeah,
he's got 3 kills over his lane
3
opponent.
kills.
He has equal CS. And then, as you mentioned, he pretty much got like 2.5, 3 plates as well on top of that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, actually, though, because Kennen literally has 1 assist. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe, I think maybe Tally was around the area for that 1 tower kill. But still, yeah. I mean, 2 complete items at this stage in the game. That's Rise's core essentially just set up. So still hitting like a truck regardless. 2 minutes until Dragon. Bottom lane being pushed in. Look at Tally's position. He just has to stand away from the minions. Hayri chasing down onto Dream and Jake. Spooks return though with the ultimate. The shutdown goes over to the Tam Kench.
Teleport's coming in as well.
And Gravitas looking to exit stage right now because Swiffer has found Raid. Here comes the actual ultimate, tags onto Decoy, but Tally separates from the team. The ultimate is enough to stun down the rest of the lineup, and Jake comes in, immediately backs away. Parbu is enough of a threat in Fog of War right now to push them away, but Order with 5 members looking towards this mid lane tower. Gravitas forcing their way in though. Predator is able to make it, but the rest of the team is not. Parbu standing and looking to deliver, knockup. Gets the first, and now they're just in the catwalk with Rise. Double shutdown.
Yeah, really nice knock up there from Decoy. He played that beautifully. Rise still looking to go.
Flash, Root gets the Tam Kench. Inside him, there's another one. The Pinata explodes and they find Dream. Tally backing away down his own catwalk, but he's cleaned up as well. And Rise, just like that, finds 3 kills.
And that could be Baron. I mean, we're 20 minutes into the game. Dream would have to contest by himself. I don't think he can do it. And this is a relatively quick Baron. You've got yourself the Rise with 6 kills. You have Azir, the quickest Baron taking mid laner. And that's just going to be given over at 20 minutes.
Worst place, worst timing, worst everything right there from Order, unfortunately. And Gravitas, the fact that it just, it was just the stars aligned and able to go for this very early Baron. I mean, Rise has got a recall. Like we were talking about the fact that Rise doesn't have as much gold as we thought he does. He does now.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what happens when you miss skills but still go. You just walk into the choke and you get blown up by Parbu. And if that's not bad enough, you know, sticking around, like flirting with it when he has summoner spells and you do not, just means that you get blown up on the flip side. You see, like, just very nicely played here from the Gravitas lineup, but you have to really question what Order was doing in that scenario. They had won the fight and then looked to continue, bit off more than they could chew, and now in a 3,000 gold deficit.
I mean, how many times have we said that this game and just haven't learnt their lesson, unfortunately. Order looking towards this bottom lane, though. Parbu by himself, and honestly, I don't know if that's a fight they can necessarily win. This is now a 3 versus 2 with a very big Rise chasing him down. Swiffer gets the ultimate there. Maybe Realm Warp will be able to save him, but actually it's the ult from Spooks which does the same job. And Jake clearing up this wards. This will be a Dragon contest, second Infernal of the game.
I mean, how now do you contest without Spooks' ultimate available? I just don't think you can. It's probably going to be given over for free. Instead, they go onto Pabu again.
2 versus 1, but he's buying a lot of time. Here comes the Ezreal ultimate coming across Pabu, trying to get away in the round warp, but he is interrupted, and they do manage to shut down the rise. Empress Divide comes across, and Preyer's going for the engage. Gets a great ultimate down round warp, tries to save Swiffer, but not going to be the case, as Jake trapped against the side of the wall. Culling is good. Double kill in from Raid. And Order lose everything.
Yeah, and this is with Baron buff, you have to remember. So now they're going to look to break the base. Gravitas absorb all that pressure. You know, that is so many resources used onto Pabu. But with the 2 items, with the Seraphs completed, is able to survive for such a long time. And now with 20 seconds left on any wave clear on this lineup, this turret's going to fall down.
This is Inhibitor. We're 22 minutes in. 2 minutes ago when you're saying that's a very early Baron. Since then, they pick up another fight, another Dragon, and another tower into the bottom lane, and now an Inhibitor. Gravitas are getting everything from this game.
Yeah, they certainly are, and now that's a huge pressure point generated to be able to look for additional fights. That is going to be 1 recall stop, so good little window here in tempo for Order to look for an additional play, but it doesn't even look like they want to go towards that Dragon. Spook's setting up top side of the map. Mate, I don't know whether they're even going to walk there.
I don't think so. Yeah, Dragon did survive, though, that encounter because of the fight. Probably walking his way down. Order into the mid lane, controlling this mid lane minion wave, and they're basically just setting up death brushes, hoping, you know, a Raid, a Hayri walks on by, and they can get themselves a pick into an objective and maybe pull back some momentum. But as it is, Gravitas passively just taking objectives now, and this will be their Infernal.
There is no reason for anyone on Gravitas to be top lane until they see someone answer that bottom wave, lane wave. And as you can see, they know that. They just immediately walk into bottom side jungle, and they're like, okay, like, the wave is already at the tier 2. It's slowly pushing back out. This is a mid lane turret dive that Gravitas have set up very nicely.
Yeah, this is not a safe space right now for Order. Not at all. Jake walks into the brush and finds himself a Jarvan, a Cataclysm, and a whole lot of damage. Raid will get himself another kill as they push towards the middle lane here, Gravitas.
Yeah, I mean, Gravitas right now, with the numbers advantage, is going to look to break the base in a second spot. Tally has to deal with bottom lane. Saving grace for Order is Baron buff is over, but it has been a 5,000 gold swing since that has come up.
Yep, hell of a power play. And Gravitas now pushing into this mid lane. With an Azir setup, this is looking a lot like an arrow map. That was a big advantage push there for Gravitas. 6 towers to 2, 2 Infernals now. A 5,000 gold advantage, also taking blue away from mid lane. And Gravitas go back. Pockets lined with gold. Pabu even picking up the Krugs right here as well.
Yeah, I mean, they just own the map right now, and you can see that they're walking through every area and just being able to take away, you know, the little small advantages. And that just means your gold lead slowly grows. It's that patient burn that is coming across. And as we mentioned, like, no one really goes with Azir in the late game, and he is 50 CS up. No one is going to be able to split push against Ryze, and he's got himself 6 kills. You know, he's 5 kills up over Tally. So it's just these little areas that Gravitas have been able to eke out the advantages. The gold distribution has been so beautiful for them. And Spooks, that's a ward.
He said it once.
He's so scared. I mean, they just can't step up and contest right now.
Just don't know who's around the corner. I mean, Decoy was there, but I mean, no other damage threats, but lack of information here from Order, and now still setting up these brushes, these potential traps onto targets, but I imagine Hayri will not give it to them. Yeah, walks out of the brush, and Order really just trying to claw back anything in this game.
The collapse onto Jake is here. He might be dead one more time.
Black Drag gets the knock up. Here comes the teleports as well. Azir in tow. Spooks wants to try and defend his Tam Kench, but the quickness is on. Dream immediately flashes away, seeing the Rakan ulting, but he's immediately dead. Not a great teleport, and now Jake will still die from this one. Hayri will get that kill.
I mean, that's a really shocking teleport. Like, call it what it is. Dream is just in no man's land, and Pabu turns around, whacks Tally in the head. This is definitely going to be mid lane turret under fire. And this is Gravitas making a statement game against Order. You know, 26 minutes in, looking to break the base in a second position.
Comes the round warp as well into the mid lane. Bringing more minions with them and the cannon, just speeding up the process. Taking that tower, moving on to the inhibitor. And Spooks and Swiffer, not a whole lot they can do right here other than just watch on as their structures get destroyed. Gravitas pretty happy with that one as that worked out, and Decoy just kind of toying with Spooks right now.
And it's perfect timing, you know. Bottom lane inhibitor was about to respawn. Order would have been thinking, okay, this is a Baron that we can at least look to contest. However, now with mid lane inhibitor back down, while it's not as valuable as bottom, gives you a pressure point. You can walk through mid lane, you can sweep out all of the jungle and look to create a huge area that Order cannot enter. And we've already seen that in a straight up 5v5, if Harry lives, Gravitas win the team fight. So expect them off a fresh recall to now walk through mid lane, sweep through that entire river, and make Order face check one more time.
Yeah, Order though, after that push, immediately push Gravitas to stop the recalls. This is trying to chain these, push towards the Baron. At the very least, have managed to secure some semblance of vision, which will be very, very useful. You know, at least they aren't flying blind right now, and what will be what could be the final Baron take of the game, which could just be curtains here. Raid stopping that recall on Jake.
That's really
Gravitas
crucial.
back on the map.
Jake has no ward right now, has one. And it looks like that's going to be the signal for Gravitas to start off this Baron.
Once again, Azure Ultimate spotting it.
8,000 gold, health. It's gone.
It's going very quickly. Azir shreds this one down. Spooks hovering around the pit, though. If we can get in, this could be a potential steal, but Gravitas are going to go right in for the engage. The Rakana's dead, but he did his job. Prelis backing away. Jake goes into the Zonius. This could be it here for Order.
Look at Harry.
Great ultimate, though, from Harry, and he is just putting out so much damage in this fight. But now he's locked in place. Shutdown comes in for Tally. And it will be a 1-for-2 overall. Order have stopped the Baron, but Jake
again
goes out of position. Tally there to potentially save him. Gets the shield out from this one, but Dream drops his own recall. Kennen dies for Jake's mistake. And now the rest of Gravitas here to clean up. Jake low, Dream. He's the only member with HP to spare. The one who can zone them
They're
away.
teleporting into end.
And they're trying to end this game. They have minions in the base. Raiders there. They're stopping recalls. And Jake, he's trying to get back to base. Raid will not be able to take the tower, though. And Gravitas, from what should have been a clear win from Order, are still applying pressure.
And that's just Jake again being caught out of position. 5 deaths already in this game. Face checks a brush by himself. And that looked like it could have been Order's turnaround Baron. That is a Warmogs on Spooks. But I think if I see the replay again, I reckon Spooks doesn't have the 3,000 health necessary to get the heart passive that actually heals you back up. He wasn't regenning at all. So that means that the item is just like a completely null factor.
So he does have over 3,000 health now.
But I think he went back and got a raincoat.
But yes, I think he just picked up health now.
Yeah, so I think that like 100% didn't have it, because otherwise he would have been full health and Order would have looked to continue that fight. And that is just one of those scenarios where, once again, everything lined up for Order perfectly. Huge Kennen ultimate when there was no damage left to pop him, because this is an AD Kennen. You know, great ultimate from Spooks. Actually hit Harry at the start of the fight, which meant he did no damage. Like, everything went well, and they still didn't win the fight.
Yeah, I just got a ping from production, 2.9k in that fight. So, yeah, just didn't have the regen. And it's also it's a breakpoint on Sejuani where you get Cinderhawk, you get a Warmogs, but you also need levels with that. And he is under-leveled in this game right now. So, yeah, it goes back and itemizes to make up the difference. But, yeah, unfortunate. And that would have been a huge difference maker. Of course, now has it, but not put in the same scenario. 30 minutes into this game, and Order are able to push out of their base. Dragon, or rather Baron, is on the map and is a contestable objective, but
this is going to be the flank.
This is a flank from 3 fronts right now. Praetor starts off with the Cataclysm. Here comes the quickness, tossing out the ultimate, but completely whiffs through the entire team of Gravitas. Sejuani ultimate does nothing. And Tally backing away. Dream under attack, and Spooks knocked up and about to be put 6 feet under here by Gravitas. Spooks backing off into the jungle, but it's already 3 kills over to the Gravitas lineup, and they're just trying to finish off the stragglers. There will be no escape from this fight. 4 kills, and Dream has to try and get back to base. Sidestep from Harry as well. And Gravitas are looking for that win.
Yeah, and he has teleport available, so the creeps are going to live, and that will be Gravitas picking up the victory.
Pushing down the mid lane, Dream just doing what he can, but with 5 members on this turret, they want him dead. They want everything from this game. And Gravitas, they say, we are still in this race.
That is a statement game for Gravitas. As we said, they have the head-to-head versus Direwolves. They are genuinely 1 game away from being in top 5, in being back in the gauntlet race. And you can see it means a lot to them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, up until a couple of weeks ago, we were looking at this team and being like, well, you know, there's no chance. They're in the same boat as Legacy, but yeah, they just jumped ship and started paddling by themselves, and look at them. You know, this is a team that is very much in playoff contention now.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, as we said, 1 game away. They've won 3 of their last 4. Order now on a 3-game skid as well, back into that danger zone. And that was one of those games for Order, you know, that they had to win. There was no other way to put it, no sugarcoating it. And they got outclassed. I mean, when you have a look at it, they had a pretty okay early game, but then as soon as Azir got rolling and Pabu picked up those kills, they just made mistake after mistake, and Gravitas, once again, not all that proactive, but caught all of those errors and were able to turn them around.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much like the best way to put it, right? But I think like obviously your hands always have to be up, you know, like while it's not proactive, there is proactivity in being ready to receive. And I think that, you know, that's exactly what they did in every single situation. But, you know, the amount of times in that game we looked at Order and was just like, wow, they just bit off more than they could chew. And we said that like 3-4 times.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you take the top lane play for like perfect example. Like that's 2 free kills. Like if you reset the map, like there's no counterplay there. But instead they're looking for turret dives. They're looking to continue to go. And what we've learned from the top 3 teams at the moment is the best way to play League of Legends is farm as much as you possibly can and then wait for those mistakes to come and capitalize really well. You know, the Baron take was the exact same scenario. And Gravitas have included that into their gameplay, and it is starting to look the goods.
Yeah, 100%. Looking so good right now. And yeah, Gravitas, I mean, like, where does it stop? You know, like you look at a lot of these teams who are surging right now. You look towards, you know, before it was the Direwolves, definitely Bombers, you know, teams like that. And then conversely, you also have teams sliding like Avant, Order, also just sliding down. You know, and it's just like where do they peak? You know, where's the ceiling for these teams? Because it feels like over maybe in the last 2 weeks now, it's been like those have been the major changes and they're clear trajectories. It's not like win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. It's like lose a lot, win a lot. You know, like there are clear streaks happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have a look at it, I would say Mammoth and Chiefs are kind of unchanged. And then Order, Direwolves, as you mentioned, and maybe Avant kind of like falling a little bit. And then you have teams like Gravitas and Bombers absolutely skyrocketing at the moment. As I said, 75% win rate, you know, in the last 2 weeks. When previous to that, they had 2 wins. You know, that is a massive momentum shift for Gravitas, and they should be able to ride that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's just a complete change in mentality shift as well, but definitely can be thinking more towards playoffs now. For now, going to send it over to Nick Boy with the interview.
Thank you very much, guys. Pabu, well done.
Thank you, thank you.
I just want to say, as I was walking into the studio, I passed your team room. All I could hear was Juves screaming, like, get 'em, boys, Gravitas, glory, just like all the keywords. So I think it's fair to say he's happy with the performance.
He's our biggest fan. I'm feeling great, dude. I had a ripper game just then. Like, I definitely died to a gank, which is a bit Monka-esque, but apart from that, I definitely played pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with myself.
It was about this time last split that Order started doing what you guys are doing now.
Indeed.
I spoke to Raid last week about the importance of the breathing room between you and Legacy, having just moved up there. And now you've caught up with Order. You've got Direwolves 1 game ahead. And, you know, depending on what happens with the AV today, you could also catch them as well. Yeah. How do you gird your loins for this kind of climb?
Well, I don't know. It's like the start of the split was every win kind of gives you more confidence because the start of the split was looking really rough and like my expectations were like getting a bit lower as like things went on, but as soon as you start pulling out wins, everything just like starts clicking as a team, you know, like in review, like everyone's like so much more involved and everyone's like ready to, you know, ready to get back on the horse when things are going well, you know. So I don't know, it's like there's not much we can do for like ourselves, but just everything just works better when we're like when we see where we're going, you know, like when things actually start working.
And as a team, you want to capitalize on momentum and get inspired by that. What jersey are you wearing?
Well, Sean Callanan will be very disappointed in me.
Yep.
Because I have no idea what the name is.
I'm going to call it the dot one.
We'll call it the dot one for now.
Do you guys keep track of winning and losing jerseys?
Not particularly, but every jersey is assigned to a specific team. So you'll notice we wear the same jersey against like different teams. So we don't really track win-loss, but you can just kind of think, did we beat them? Did we lose to them? Oh, this jersey's not so good. So, you know, like,
are you
know, maybe like, like a little bit. Like I definitely do feel better wearing some of the jerseys. Like, you know, the ones I like more, I'm like, yeah, I look good today. I'm ready to go. Sometimes it's like,
I look good today. Well, you could, if you play a team that historically you lose against, you could wear this jersey underneath that one. So that you go, it's the closest one to the skin, and so therefore...
That's pretty big brain. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it'll give you the dot power, which I assume is what the jersey is called. Finally, job interview questions. Do you have any advice for people out there looking for jobs?
Jobs?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's pretty rough nowadays. Like, the job market is so saturated for young kids like us. But for my understanding, as a person who's never worked a proper job,
Which seems to be the recurring theme within this building.
my understanding is that the like kind of like making yourself better than other people through, like, I don't know, it depends what you're doing, but if you have more qualifications than other people, they're inclined to put your resume above others. So,
yeah, right.
Like,
So lie.
not
Yeah, I can ride a horse. What do you need me to do?
all right, like if you speak Japanese, but it's like, you're working at Subway, no one's gonna ask you if you can, like, but it makes you better.
That is true. And then you go, there's definitely going to be some Japanese people that come in here who don't speak English. And that, like, in that moment, I have a leg up on the competition.
Indeed. And so just finding your little advantages and using that to your best is probably the best advice I can give as a jobless person.
Well, when you get your first real job, I hope that you could look back at this interview and remember the good advice that you've imparted. Well done on the win. Congratulations on the climb.
Thank you.
We would be excited to see you guys here again next week. We'll be back right after this.
Certainly is, and that is going to be In Comes Rise.
Oh, it's now a 2 versus 2, and Swift is already low, blown a lot of his cooldowns, but Dream hops the wall, and that's a 3 versus 2. Gets the first kill into Decoy, now Pabu by himself, Spooks dancing around the minions, gets the stun down, but the tower will finish him off. Jake walking underneath the tower, and this is getting messy real quick now for Order. Hayri chasing Jake down, looking for this shield, flash away from, but still gets him with the Sand Soldiers, gets the second there. Push them away for Order with 5 members looking towards this mid lane tower. Gravitas forcing their way in though. Predator is able to make it, but the rest of the team is not. Pabu standing and looking
Huge
to deliver,
knockup.
gets the first, and now they're just in the catwalk with Rise. Double shutdown.
Yeah, really nice knock up there from Decoy. He played that beautifully. Rise still looking to go.
Flash, Root gets the Tam Kench. Inside him, there's another one. The Pinata explodes, and they find Dream. Tally backing away down his own catwalk, but he's cleaned up as well. Shreds this one down. Spooks hovering around the pit, though. If he can get in, this could be a potential steal, but Gravitas are going to go right in for the engage. The Rakana's dead, but he did his job. Predator's backing away. Jake goes into the Zonius. This could be it here for Order.
Look at Harry.
Great ultimate, though, from Harry, and he is just putting out so much damage in this fight. But now he's locked in place. Shutdown comes in for Tally. And it will be a 1 for 2 overall. Order has stopped the Baron, but Jake
again
goes out of position. Tally there to potentially save him. Gets the shield out from this one, but Dream drops his own recall. Kennen dies for Jake's mistake. And now the rest of Gravitas here to clean up. Jake low, Dream, he's the only member with HP to spare. The Gravitas are looking for that win.
Yeah, and he has teleport available, so the creeps are going to live, and that will be Gravitas picking up the victory.
Pushing down the mid lane, Dream just doing what he can, but with 5 members on this turret, they want him dead. They want everything from this game. And Gravitas, they say, we are still in this race.
You gave me this when we were just 16 years old. Darling, cop up.
A little goes a long way at Macca's. Grab 24 Chicken McNuggets for just $9.95 every day.
Welcome back. And a couple of weeks ago, I think, when we were doing our